Hey everybody, how's it going? In my Space Marine Dreadnought video, I was asked to go into detail about the Deff Dread and the Killa of the Orcs, so I'm going to do that. Pretty much, the Deff Dread and the Killa are Dreadnoughts in the Orcs, in the Orc army. The Deff Dread is essentially the Orc Dreadnought, and the Killa are like mini Dreadnoughts. The Deff Dread is piloted by an Orc, and the Killa are piloted by Gretchen, I believe. Excuse me. The thing about them is they're heavy support choices, unlike the Space Marine Dreadnought, which is an elite choice, which is nice because it frees you up to take Mega Knobs or Knobs and whatnot, while still taking Killacans and Deff Dreads, unlike the Space Marine army where you have to split 3 elite choices if you're going to go heavy on elites, between, Terminators and Stern Guard and Dreadnoughts, or, then the Dark Angel Army, Deathwing, and Dreadnoughts and Scouts and stuff like that. So you had the option to field a decent amount of walkers, which what Dreadnoughts are, in an Orc army, while not sacrificing your elite hitters. So another thing is they're cheap. The Killacan is 35 points and the Deff Dread is 75 points, but there's a catch. They each must take war gear options. The Killacan must take one of a list of weapons, and the Deff Dread must take 2 of a list of weapons. And the cheapest thing there are 5 points for each. So the Deff Dread is really 85 points if they take 2, so it's 10 points plus 75. And the Killacan is really 40 points because of that. It's still cheap though. Killacans also can be fielded in a vehicle squadron of 1 to 3 Killacans. So if you make them cheap and just take big shooters, which are 5 points, 40 points a model for a full squadron of 3. That's 120 points. You add in give them all armor plates and grot riggers, and you have, that's 15 more points. So 15 is 30 plus 15 is 45. What did I say? 120 plus 45. That's 165, which is a price of like a Space Marine Dreadnought. You get a full squadron of 3 mini guys with armor 11 instead of 12. But it's 3 of them coming at you for one choice, so that's not that bad. The Deff Dread does not come squadron, it's only 1. So what's the difference? Well, besides the fact of 11 armor for the Killacan and 12 for a Deff Dread, the Killacan has a weapon skill of 2 and a ballistic skill of 3, where the Deff Dread has a weapon skill of 4 and a ballistic skill of 2. They both have the same initiative of 2. Deff Dread is 3 attacks, Killacan gets 2 attacks. That's pretty much the only difference, aside from what they can take. The Deff Dread has to take 2 of the following weapons: Big Shooter, Rocket Launcher, Custom Mega Blaster, Scorcher, or Dreadnought Close Combat weapons. So you can have a total of 4 Dreadnought Close Combat weapons, which they already come stock with 2, and that's it. So if you take 2 more, it increases attacks by plus 2. So you have a total of 5 attacks with a charge, but it would have no range capability. They can also take grot riggers or armor plates. Armor plates are essentially extra armor, and grot riggers let you roll a 4. Well, lets you roll a dice. If you're immobilized on a 4 plus, you're not immobilized anymore and can move on the following turn. Killacans must take 1 of the following weapon options, which is Big Shooter, Rocket Launcher, Custom Mega Blaster, Scorcher, or the Grotzuka, which is my favorite for the Killacan. The Grotzuka is a short-range weapon, only 18 inches, but a Strength 6, AP 5, Heavy 2 blast. With a better ballistic skill of 3 in the Orc army, and the high strength of 6, it's a pretty good combination for dealing with like Imperial Guard, other Orc hordes, even Space Marines, if you just Space Marine tactical squads and whatnot, because of its high strength. It has a chance of hurting rhinos. It has a chance of taking down land speeders, but really it's about the infantry, and it shoots twice. So if you have a squadron of 3, that's 6 shots going off that are blast weapons. Now with the new shift going to torrent of fire, a lot of people want doing lots of wounds because cover saves are everywhere, and you can even space orc boys with a 6+ armor save can take a 4+ cover save and be pretty much fine. And the Grazuka lets you pretty much do that because it's a blast weapon, uses a small blast template. But if you're going horde killing with it, like against Termagants, all like Tyrannids or orcs or whatnot, you're not gonna really scatter too far off target if it's a horde army you're facing. And 2 shots means you have the potential to do a lot of wounds, more than the big shooter, which shoots 3 times, I believe. So I would suggest for Killa Kanz, no matter how you feel in squadron or unsquadroned, that you take either the big shooter or the Grazuka. The custom Mega Blast would be my third choice. It is kind of point heavy. The rocket launcher, not so much. I mean, yeah, you have a better chance of hitting with it because you have ballistic skill 3, but it's only one, so one shot wonder essentially. I mean, you can shoot it once every turn, but it's only one shot every turn, I believe. And these guys, I'd rather have them shooting at infantry and then when they get close, smacking a vehicle. If they get close. The Deff Dread, on the other hand, I would suggest, if you're going to try and maximize its assaulting, I still suggest taking only one Dreadnought close combat weapon and then a shooting weapon. I suggest taking the Scorcher for them. Custom Mega Blast I wouldn't hurt, the big shooter would be the best option after the Scorcher, because the custom Mega Blast won't get hot, but the big shooter gives you 3 shots, and with ballistic skill 2, maybe 1 will hit instead of rolling 1 die. But I suggest Scorchers on Deff Dreads because it's a heavy flamer, and you can potentially take 2, so having 3 attacks base, 4 on the charge. Because I think the 2 Dreadnought close combat weapons are already factored into its profile. I'm not sure though. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I'm sure the FAQ might say something. But 2 templates, I explained 5 before, hitting the squad you're about to assault really helps, especially because even though you got initiative, your initiative 2, which is higher than Power Fist, and what I would do is soften up a squad that has a hidden Power Fist in it, essentially, and that way you have the potential to just kill the Power Fist in the assault phase before it hits you, or Power Fist equivalent. So I always suggest armor plates for these guys. Grot Riggers are cheap, might as well. The ability to not be immobilized is very handy. As far as tactics, if you're gonna go with a stomper, like a mechanized mob like that, I usually see Killa Kanz in the front screening things. Like you take them in squadrons, you keep them in coherency, but run them forward. And it's like either you deal with that or you have to deal with the army behind it. Either way, something's going to get to you to assault. Especially with the Killa Kanz being more accurate in the shooting for an orc army, it'll force your opponent to shoot it. Pretty much use it as a screening to die. Let it die. Don't expect it to get there, but if it does, this is a bonus. The Deff Dreads I've seen used kind of for that tactic, like behind the Killa Kanz. I've also seen them behind vehicles, especially the ones with no shooting capability. That way, keep them behind a looted battle wagon, or a looted vehicle, or their truck, the orc truck. Hopefully, it'll get there without dying, and then just slam it home into like a soft target. Pretty much, Dreadnought tactics apply to all the Dreadnoughts, be them Chaos, Space Marine, or Orcs. So there's not too much different to say. One thing that people do is take big mechs with custom force fields when they take a lot of Killa Kanz and Deff Dreads to make them scared, because they are a vehicle. They're a walker, but they're a vehicle class walker. So that makes them even more survivable in the shooting phase, as long as you keep the big mech safe, like in a transport or in a squad, or like attached to a squad in a transport. So yeah, and that would let them move in, getting their obscured cover saves, so 4+, and making them harder to kill in the shooting phase. And with Deff Dreads, you want them to get into the assault phase. With Killa Kanz, I would use them as fire support if I used them. I'm not using them in the army list I'm building for Legends of War, but they are usable in tournament lists for screening and shooting. So that's pretty much it. Until the next one, take it easy.